Phillinganes and Rory Kaplan work with some of the biggest names in music, including the king of pop himself, Michael Jackson.
You remember this bit? Well, that's me.
That was you.
Yeah.
On the Bad tour, it was 1,000% controlled by Michael, every aspect.
Was Michael a perfectionist?
Yeah, for him it wasn't hard, it was his work ethic.
I love you.
Hey, yo, it's DJ Khaled.
Hey, this is Kim Kardashian.
This is Mike Tyson. Chuck the Iceman Liddell.
This is Martin Cove.
This is Sugar Ray Leonard, and you're watching
Before the Fame. Before the Fame.
Before the Fame.
Before the Fame.
Before the Fame with Mike Sherman. Mike Sherman. Don't ever stop.
Hi everybody, welcome to Before the Fame, and I'm your host, Mike Sherman. Today I'm out in Sherman Oaks, California on Ventura Boulevard, standing in front of Record One recording studios. Now this is where the Jacksons and Michael Jackson laid down some of the biggest hits from the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Greg Phillinganes and Rory Kaplan work with some of the biggest names in music, such as Aretha Franklin, Eric Clapton, Barbra Streisand, Stevie Wonder, and none other than the king of pop himself, Michael Jackson. Rory Kaplan was weaned on the likes of Frank Sinatra and Henry Mancini. And then all that changed when he first heard the Beatles. Playing on the keyboards alongside Chick Corea and Stevie Wonder in the 70s and 80s, Rory would introduce a new sound technology to Michael and join him on tour starting in 1984. Greg Phillinganes was discovered by Stevie Wonder at the age of 19. His 3-decade-long involvement with MJ began in 1978 with the Jacksons, and his contributions to the King of Pop song catalog have become some of the most recognizable sounds in pop music history.
Greg Phillinganes!
The Destiny album.
Yeah.
Tell me about that album.
Well, it's great. I was brought on to do rhythm arrangements, and that was one of the ones I did. And I even came up with a drum beat to that song, too. And but the very first thing I did was...
I know this track.
That's the first arrangement I did for them. And then it went on from there and there. And
Now,
then,
did you write
then,
that part?
Oh, no. I arranged it, though.
You arranged it, okay.
But the song was this, actually the song was written by this British duo, I think.
Right.
And it was really like milk toast sounding, like.
And you lined it up.
And I kind of made
Yeah,
it
you put a little
funky,
energy in it, a little funk in it.
Yeah.
In those early years, Greg became a close personal friend of the Jackson family, especially Michael. So much so that in between tour stops, he accompanied them to amusement parks and Disney World. the Jackson family embraced you almost as one of their own, like you were like another brother.
It certainly felt like it. They were wonderful to me. You know, I would call Catherine mother just like they did, you know, and she's incredibly sweet. And we had a great rapport. We worked really well together because, you know, I guess maybe it's because I was just as young and crazy as they were.
Yeah.
You know, but
they're from Indiana, you're from Detroit, so you guys are Midwestern guys.
Exactly.
So it was a
there's
common
that
bond.
Let me hear you say yeah.
As Michael's star within the Jacksons was rising, producer Quincy Jones was already making plans for his first solo album.
And then we went from there to the Triumph album. But in between those two albums is when Quincy asked me to come on board to work on the Off the Wall album.
I know that album like yesterday was my favorite album. I was graduating high school, and that album was just, as we say, bananas.
Yeah, it was.
That was a great album.
Pivotal moment in Michael's career because, you know, Quincy wanted to establish him as an adult.
Right.
And so, you know, he took a giant leap forward with that.
Off the Wall spawned 4 top 10 hits, the second of which featured a Greg Phillinganes signature hook.
Remember this bit? Right?
Yeah.
Well, that's me.
That was you.
Yeah.
That was, of course I remember that. In 1982, the Thriller album changed the popular music landscape, and the title track is a classic example of Greg Phillinganes doing what he does best, including the pipe organ heard under Vincent Price's iconic.
For no mere mortal can resist the evil of the Thriller.
You had all this experience working with Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson. And Michael, I guess, started to put a lot of interest into you and wanted you to come on his tours now, right? He wanted you to start being more part of his group?
Yeah, he had a very interesting way of asking.
So how would he ask?
Well, we were in the studio working on the Bad album, you know, and every once in a while he would say, you really enjoy touring, don't you? And I go, yeah. And, you know, more time would go on, and he'd say, you enjoy live audiences, don't you? And he said, do you like to travel? I go, yeah. And he would say, you enjoy big crowds. And I was like, what are you getting at?
Yeah.
And I finally realized, oh, you want me to tour with you. And he was like,
Greg had graduated from a session musician to musical director for both the Bad and Dangerous tours, which were seen by a collective total of 8.4 million people across 15 countries. The Bad tour alone spanned 16 months and 123 concerts, earning a record $125 million. So now I saw a clip where you and Michael were in the same sync, you were choreographed, where he comes over to you as he's singing, and you guys are kind of like...
oh yeah, we're doing our little signature thing.
You're doing a little signature thing, and you look like you were having a blast. He was having a blast.
Oh, absolutely. Well, there was a lot of love there, A. And B, that was near the end of the show when he's introducing everybody. And he would come over to me and we do this little thing.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
But I mean, you haven't lived, man, until you're standing but 10 feet behind him, and you look out in the stadium, and you're seeing everybody light torches, not iPhones, but real torches, while you're doing this.
I know. I was one of those people doing that in the back, up in the top row.
And you hear you're playing the intro and you see the whole stadium light up and you're watching him. It's just absolutely magical.
In addition to his solo efforts, Greg Phillinganes has been involved in the production of over 100 albums, from pop to R&B to country and beyond. He won an Emmy in 2015 and was the musical director for the 2016 Grammy Awards. you're probably one of the only people, other than Rory, that had a chance to play with one of the Beatles, okay, Ringo Starr. You played with Stevie Wonder, okay, another major icon. You're a gifted individual. How does that make you feel?
Blessed and extremely humbled.
You are a very humble guy. You're one of the coolest guys I've met, and it seems it's so great to meet someone that is as talented as you, but yet is so humble like yourself.
Well, look, I was also blessed to learn from the greats, and the greats like Quincy Jones, showed me. They never really said it, but they just showed me in their actions that you don't have to, you don't have to tell people how you are. What you do speaks for itself, and I've always made that my mission to let what I do speak for itself. So, it makes a difference.
Welcome back. You're watching Before the Fame, and I'm your host, Mike Sherman. Now, the other keyboardist on the Victory and Bad tours, Rory Kaplan, had a very unique and interesting introduction to the Jacksons. I asked him to tell me all about it when we sat down at his piano at his home in Simi Valley, California. You've played with so many major superstars, but one of the biggest that I have to dive into right now is Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Okay, now I've seen some of your footage online, and I've seen you on stage with him, with all the colorful clothes, and I saw your hairstyle back then with the earrings and all that cool stuff. When you got the call or had an opportunity to work with MJ, tell me about that.
Well, the story comes out of Fairlight, and Fairlight called me up and said, Jermaine Jackson bought a Fairlight, will you train him? Sure. And I show up, and Jermaine had these two baby, probably 2-month-old Bengal tigers,
right,
playing on the front lawn. And I'm like, boy, am I in a new world.
Him and Mike Tyson probably
neighbors. I was just like, wow. So I go in the house, and there's a room set up at the Fairlight, and I'm showing Jermaine. And I came back 2 or 3 times, and he finally said, I'm not gonna learn this. He said, my brothers and I are doing a tour next year. Do you wanna do it? I'm like, yes, of course.
During the rehearsals for the Victory Tour, Rory and his Fairlight got Michael's attention and thus created a whole new sound.
Michael shows up 4 days later. He was at the White House with President Reagan doing the anti-drug campaign. So he shows up, and the back door opens. Michael had just flown in from DC, so he had the blue marching sequins, the jacket,
right,
the sash, and the sunglasses,
and
the glove, the whole
Michael
thing.
Being Michael.
Michael being Michael. And we were everyone's jaw was on the floor like it was surreal, So he came in, and Jermaine's introducing them to us, and then comes up to me and he goes, did anyone tell you look like Paul McCartney? And I started laughing, and I said, no. And so he said, what's this instrument? So I showed him the Fairlight. I showed him these orchestra hits that we had just done with Fairlight. And he goes, wait, I got an idea. So he hits the band to play Startin' Something. So Michael goes, when we hit this part, I want you to hit that orchestra hit. So it's like So then he said, every time we do that, I want you to hit that orchestra hit, and we're going to do a dance move that, So Michael in his head already heard it.
He's already working on it.
So we started, so it was the first song we did as a band with me involved, and then it just evolved. And during the tour, I learned a lot, and I had to deal with a lot of personalities, and I was definitely the low guy on the totem pole.
With the Thriller album and the Victory Tour happening simultaneously, MJ's desire to be in charge was becoming more apparent. You saw Michael in kind of 2 facets of his career. You saw him playing with his brothers in the early 80s. That Victory Tour was incredible. And then you also saw him later on in his life on the Bad Tour when he was solo. So was he a different Michael compared to when he was with his brothers, compared to when he was solo?
It was mixed. So on the Victory Tour, I think Michael didn't look always happy. I think he wanted to run everything.
Yeah,
he had the vision in his head.
control.
He wanted more control.
Yeah.
But it was an equal vote. It was a democratic thing. And he would get voted down sometimes. And so it was frustrating. You could see it, but you didn't talk about it. So on the Bad Tour, it was 1,000% controlled by Michael, every aspect. who was choreography, who was doing this, who was going to be involved, the lighting, sound, how we're going to do this, how he envisioned the production and everything.
As far as consciousness and being alert and musicianship, you guys are wonderful. I would say the same for wardrobe and technology. They made a couple of mistakes.
Was Michael a perfectionist?
Yeah, people think, okay, we're rehearsing the band and snap. While we were rehearsing, getting our music together, he was doing 13 hours with the dancers in one building, and then going to the other building to work with the background singers to work on vocals.
Wow.
So it wasn't.
He was really working hard.
So yes,
pushing himself hard.
Well, he was just doing what he does. It wasn't for him. It wasn't hard. It was his work ethic.
Running almost non-stop from September 1987 to January 1989, the Bad Tour proved to be a production marathon. One night, about 50 shows into the tour, Rory saw something happen on stage he simply couldn't believe.
We were in Würzburg, Germany, and it just was one of those magic shows where Michael had this amazing amount of energy. We get to Billie Jean, and everything goes dark, spotlight comes down, and Ricky comes in, you know, and everyone's screaming. So I do the.
People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts.
I'm playing, and my keyboard, the upper keyboard, I'm standing up, but the keyboard was high. I had 3 keyboards. So it was high up, and I could only see Michael's knees above. I couldn't see him, you know, full. And we're playing, and all of a sudden I'm watching Michael, and it was like he was on a conveyor belt because nothing from here is moving. He's just.
You see a body just moving through the air.
I see a body going sideways like this. So I get on my tippy toes and reach over the keyboard to see if there's a conveyor belt on the stage.
Right.
I flipped out. Like I was like, but I lost my place in the song. I lost my focus. I went, oh no. Oh, shit. So Greg looks at me, it's okay. 3, 4, bump, you know, I'm back in.
Rolled you right back.
Got me right back in. After the show, I get this thing from Michael. Rory, what happened? And I said, Michael, I was watching you go sideways on the stage. I thought the road crew put a conveyor belt in there, and I looked over my keyboards, and I lost my place. It'll never happen again. And he started laughing.
Wow.
Because it struck him funny that it had that impact on his own band member.
And just like with Greg Phillinganes, Michael Jackson was not just a boss, but a friend to Rory offstage.
So you were pretty close to Mike.
We got to do a few things, like on the Victory Tour, he took me to see Doug Henning. We went to see him at the Fox Theater in Atlanta. And after the show, we were invited backstage, and he had a Black Panther and a tiger there. That was part of the show. So the panther, someone's walking the panther towards us, and Michael grabs me and puts me in front of him.
No. He had a sense of humor.
Yeah, he had a sense of humor at the same time.
It was cool.
Yeah, you know, it was funny. And I'm looking at this panther going, oh my God, if this thing ripped, we'd be dead, all of us.
What kind of legacy, this is an easy question, do you think Michael Jackson left to the music world?
Well, if you look at a handful of current artists like Bruno Mars, Janet, Beyoncé, Usher, that persona of entertainers, it's not just singers. There's a lot of singers out there, but entertainers who know how to move to the rhythm, how to hit certain accents on chords in a song. Michael perfected that. He brought Bob Fosse, Gene Kelly, and Fred Astaire into the main world of pop. So Michael's, you know, stood on tall shoulders, and these people now are standing on Michael's shoulders.
If you had something to say to Michael Jackson right now, I mean, he's another legend, what would you tell him?
Michael's so dearly missed, and not just for me, but the integrity of our industry has, the bar's lowered so much in the last decade for me. I'm not saying there's not good artists out there. We're not going to get into playing that game. But Michael kept the bar so high.
Yeah.
Singers like Whitney Houston or Lennon McCartney or Stevie Wonder, that bar, you didn't get there unless you were that good.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the talent I hear now, some of it lacks inspiration or something original or something inspiring. What Michael did for Off the Wall, Thriller, and Bad for me was blow my socks off. be other people that come around that'll be great. But there'll never be another Mozart or Lennon McCartney or a Dylan or a Michael.
I think we both agree there'll never be another Michael Jackson.
Yeah, there just won't be, and it's okay. You know, God gives us gifts, and if we get them, we're lucky. You know.
That was great, Rory.
Yeah, I mean those are the gems.
Well, guys, that's our show for today. I really hope you enjoyed it. But tune in for next week's show, where once again, we go down memory lane of some of the biggest names in sports, music, and entertainment, all before the fame. And follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm Mike Sherman. Thanks for watching.